Hello to the world of YouTube. Shout out to Black Label Society. Thank you. My name is Archie, and I am a writer. Short stories, poetry, lyrics. And right now I want to share a story I wrote. All in regards to this picture that you see before you. This is a oil painting. I have the effects for it, and I would just like to get my stories maybe even looked at, noticed, whatever comes first. Who knows? Hollywood, publisher. I ain't got time for looking for agents. I ain't got the money to do publishing, and I'm looking to just get something going and give a guarantee on my writing to make a payment. It may sound a little, off the wall, but I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think I'd get somewhere. But yes, I'm gonna recite this story I wrote. It has two parts. Second part ain't finished yet, but this is part one. This is called The Lighthouse. Driving up the coast in my '69 Oldsmobile Cutlass, the roar of the 350 rocket giving me the speed that makes the ships offshore look like a slow motion movie. I'm passing by a place where me and my father used to go to take a tour of a lighthouse, and the caretaker would greet us with a smile every time we went to enjoy this tour. And no matter how many times that we did this tour, it never got old. Then later on, me and my friends, the girls we used to see at the time, would go to the lighthouse on the beach and use it as a big strobe light. A little party, get together, whatnot. It was great moments, and I'll always remember. So I pull up to the parking lot where it's set along the beach, and there still stood the standing binoculars that you could look out for a dime out to sea at the ships that rolled by. So I put a dime in and watched a couple ships. Then began my journey down the old stairs that went to the beach, and began to walk towards the old lighthouse. The good times rolled in my thoughts of all the things that were done on this beach and the visits that me and my father attended. All the pictures in my head trapped in time made me feel happy, and nothing could take it away. But when I got near the lighthouse that was no longer open and condemned, wood blocked everything. An eerie feeling came upon me, and all good thoughts disappeared. An evil chill came up my spine. I shivered, and the hairs on my neck stood up. I went numb. Everything around me was like on mute. The seagulls did not screech. The sound of the waves crashing to the shore was nothing. All things was in slow motion. Even the wind blew, and I heard nothing. My hair waving in the wind. And it was like I was a mime. Looking at the lighthouse and all this happening, I was starting to freak. And out of nowhere, in the lighthouse windows, I saw a thing I have no idea what it was. It wasn't even human. For a few moments I watched this thing kick, punch, and swing, and I watched this thing in its arms furiously waving at the light that spun for the ships to see. Out of the corner of my eye, I seen a ship, so I took a moment to watch it pass. Due to it being close to shore and it had a big 3 masts, but no sails on them, and nothing moving. Nobody on the ship. The ship just sailed by at a normal pace, and as I watched it pass, I quickly went and turned back to the lighthouse and saw this thing staring at me. I was paralyzed with fear. It was breathing heavy and giving me a demonic look that only could come from Satan himself. I finally got the nerve to move and began to walk away and head back to my car to leave. Walking as fast as I could in the sand, looking back quick and almost at the stairs. Wouldn't you know, all of a sudden I tripped over a piece of driftwood buried in the sand, banging the side of my head and my eyes shut tight. The only thing I could think of was the pain and this thing coming at me. Who knew what this thing was and what it could do? I finally got up and opened my eyes, shook it off, and it was pitch black. The stars and the moon is the only thing that's shining. The shadow of the lighthouse stood high over the sea, like something out of a Boris Karloff movie. I looked around to see if the thing was near, but no sign. I also noticed that I wasn't near the stairs anymore, and thinking, how the hell did I get this far back? I tried to walk as fast as I could, but still dizzy from the fall. Then all of a sudden the door of the lighthouse smashed open. The boards that covered it were splintered into the air and went everywhere. A white light shined from it, and all I could see was a huge black figure standing and staring at me. I tried to run, but the dizziness of my head made me slow. I kept looking back, and this thing moved quickly. Before I knew it, I seen its eyes, like they were rolled in the back of his head, white as a ghost. I turned for the last time and began to run. All of a sudden, once again, wouldn't you know, I tripped over the same piece of drifted wood. This time I missed my head, and the sand went into my face. I was 2 feet from the stairs. I felt hands touching me. I began to kick, punch, and scream, and whatever else I could do. The thing in its face was all I could see in my head as I squeezed my eyes shut. Then all of a sudden I heard a voice, "Whoa, whoa, buddy, whoa, we're trying to help you." And then I stopped completely. The pain thumped in my head, and I opened my eyes slowly and could see nothing but a blur. I started to say, "I'm sorry." 2 men stood over me, telling me I must have been out for a while. The blood on your head was dry, and they said that the EMTs were on their way. So they sat me up and brought me to my car, and as I waited, the EMTs arrived. They patched me up and told me to see my doctor when I got home. Kept asking me if I could drive, and I kept saying, "Yes, I'm alright, thank you." I thank the men again. I thank the EMTs. They started to pack up. The men started to get phone calls and were standing by their cars getting ready to leave. And I looked back at the lighthouse and saw nothing. No sign. So I got in my car and began to drive off slowly. And by then the EMTs and 2 guys were gone. So I got up on the breakdown lane and started to pull out to the highway and saw no cars coming. And as soon as I got on the highway to take off, I looked back over to the lighthouse, and there it was again, staring. And I wasn't too far off to where I could see its face, demonic grin. I slammed back into the breakdown lane and slammed on my brakes and got out of my car as fast as I could and ran to the wall that barricaded from the cliff to the ocean and stood there and looked at it. And as its body shook like it was cracking up laughing, it began to disappear. The shadow of it and smog of smoke drifted away. I was terrified with fear, but I wanted nothing more to run back there and to get a taste of what this was. But I stood there for a while and nothing reappeared, so I got back in my car and drove off. And all the way home, there's nothing I could think of was this thing chasing me. But there was only one thing left, and that was the EMT saying it was your imagination. The head injury would make you hallucinate. You've been laying under a hot, smothering sun, and you had lost a lot of blood. So I took their advice and just went on home, and it's been a year now, having nightmares, waking up out of a cold sweat. Still to this day, I haven't been back to that place. And I keep telling myself it was just an imagination. Or was it? The end. So, this ends my story. Like I said, I'm trying to get this stuff looked at. I'll have a part 2 up soon. I need to get some. I'm going to throw up another couple stories or a short story. And then I'm going to get a set of lyrics out, all in parts, and some poetry. But like I said, be looking for part 2. And if anybody's interested in giving me a shot of looking at my stories, and I mean serious, people only, no jokers, I'm at Herbie731 at hotmail.com. Thank you. If you liked, if you disliked, thank you anyways, and y'all have a great day. Part 2, I'll have a little more information. Thanks. Bye.